Tips with punch. GDPR, also known as General Data Protection Regulation, is this long and boring document. In case you're having trouble falling asleep, this one will guarantee that you will fall asleep on page 2. GDPR is a new EU regulation that specifies how companies should use and protect consumer data. It will take in effect on 25th of May 2018, and it will concern your company if you handle any data from EU citizen. So no matter if you're based in California or Siberia, this will apply to you. Now, to consumers, this is not that bad of a deal. This regulation gives power back to the people, as EU sees privacy as human right. Arnie, tell them what you think. Now, for companies, this means that they need to look at their process and infrastructure, really go through what is collected, where is it collected, and how the data is used and how is it secured. This will give transparency to consumers, as we will know what is collected and why is it collected. There is also a small benefit to companies, as this will be the only regulation across whole Europe and not per country as it is now, where Germany might have a strict regulation and Eastern Europe, well, they don't care that much. I want to mention that user tracking is still allowed, but you have to make sure it's done the right way. You need users' explicit consent in simple language and ability to opt out. So no complicated language, no tricking of the user, and you need to make sure there's an option to stop tracking.
From Lab City 4 wins.
At this point, you might be wondering what is considered as personal data. Well, it's any information that can be used to identify a user. This includes information like email, photos, bank details, and even IP address. And one day, it'll be your burrito. What might be challenging is that the current data, so the data before GDPR will be taken in effect, current data needs to oblige the new rules, so you need to have users' consent to track them. At this point, it's a bit unclear how this can be proven, but anyway, companies are the ones that have to prove if there's a dispute. I think this regulation will be taken seriously, as penalties are severe, at most 20 million or 4% of global turnover. Here's a few examples that this might apply to. So, if Apple breaks this, they would pay 9.2 billion. And if Sony Entertainment would have the same data breach they had a few years ago, they would pay 320 million. Oh yeah, and there's no one entity that will monitor this. But if you get too many complaints from users, you might get sued. There are 7 key rights that GDPR emphasizes: user consent to tracking, data breach notifications within 72 hours after incident, rights to access own data, right to be forgotten, also known as all data should be deleted, data portability, so you can share and reuse your own data, privacy by design, companies must secure personal data and their infrastructure should support this, data protection officer, so if you are a public institution or have more than 250 employees, then you need to appoint a professional data protection officer who oversees that company is doing everything possible to protect personal data.
Well, that hit the spot.
I hope this video was helpful, and if it was useful, hit the like button. And here's a couple videos that you might like. First one, showing concrete examples of GDPR in a website, and second one, a long format video about GDPR. Oos!